Hi! I have a new cake order on the go. I have been asked to make an engagement cake, which is really nice because I haven't made one of those before. So I thought I would talk you through how to make it. It's going to be quite a simple cake actually, which is really nice because sometimes I think that less is definitely more. So stick around and we'll go through it. This is a really cute cake actually. The bride-to-be has given me a copy of her invitation that she sent out for her engagement party and would like some elements of that incorporated onto the cake, so that's what we're going to do. You will need 3 8-inch round cakes for this cake, and once they've cooled down you can go ahead and level those off, ready to stack up. I know that some bakers prefer to put buttercream in between each layer. I personally like to put jam in between each layer because I think it adds a little bit more flavour, but that's personal taste. Jam also gives you the chance to experiment, so you can put things like lemon curd with lemon cake and so on and so forth. I like to spread buttercream in the middle of my cake board just to help my first cake layer to stick. And then it's time to start layering up your tier. So cake, make sure it's nice and flat, and then jam. I'm using seedless raspberry in this one. Then your next cake layer, making sure it's centre, more jam all the way to the edges, and then your final cake layer on top. Once that's done, you can go about crumb coating your cake with buttercream all the way around the sides and on the top. Next, it's time to roll out your fondant. I like to do this on a plastic coated mat. I got mine from C&H Fabrics, but you could pick them up from any fabric store. And I also use a little bit of Trex, which is vegetable fat, just to help the icing slide across the mat. Once your fondant is on the cake, you need to slowly work your way down inch by inch, all the way around, and iron out the pleats with your fingers. You want to make sure that you're doing this slowly, like I said, inch by inch down the cake, otherwise you will make pleats at the bottom that you really can't get rid of. Once you've done this, you need an icing smoother and just go all the way around the cake, making sure that your icing is flat until you're happy. Then you need to trim off the excess with a sharp scalpel, but be careful not to mark the cake board underneath, and then peel away the excess. Once you've done this, just use your fingertips to push the fondant back against the cake, and then take this time to just neaten up any bits that you may have missed. Like I said, the bride asked me to design this cake based on her engagement invitation, so I photocopied the design and blew it up on the photocopier, and then cut this out to use as a stencil. I then drew around it onto black card and cut that out as well. This did take some time, but it was definitely quicker than making it out of black fondant. Next up, you're going to need 2 heart cutters, one slightly smaller in size than the first, and some Tylo powder added to white fondant to make it stronger because we want our hearts to stand up on our cake. So just a pinch of this and knead it in until you're happy with the consistency. Once you've rolled out your icing, you can go ahead and cut your first heart, which is going to be white. That's using the biggest cutter of the 2, and then use a scalpel just to neaten up the edges. Next, you're going to need to take some cocktail sticks, and we're going to put these in the bottom of each heart halfway up so that you have just a little bit sticking out, which will then later go into the cake. You then need to get some beige icing, and using the smaller of your 2 heart cutters, cut some small beige hearts. When you're ready, use a paintbrush dipped in water to stick your small beige hearts into the middle of your large white hearts, and then using your fingertip, just smooth out the edges until your hearts sit flush. As you do this, you want to press down ever so slightly, which will make your beige heart grow in size as you stretch it, and the edges will be closer to the edges of the white heart. Do this until you are happy with the final result, and then taking a paintbrush, dust on some gold dust into the middle of your beige heart and spread it out to the edges. Once you're finished, you can arrange your hearts onto your iced cake. I put the 3 large hearts standing up from their points at the back of the cake and the 2 small hearts standing up on the side. I also put some small beige hearts on the front of the cake and dusted these with gold dust as well. Finishing touches then are to add the word congratulations to the board, made using beige icing and dusted in gold dust, and to pin the ribbon into a wave all the way across the front with a gold bow added in the middle. I also added the initials of the bride and groom to be, using black fondant this time, and put them in the middle of the 2 small hearts at the front. The bride and groom's silhouette is held in place by a small pin just by the groom's ankle and also where they're holding hands, and I then painted the head of each pin black with food colouring so that you can't see it. I hope you found that helpful in how to make an engagement cake. I definitely see a piece of glitter on my face, on my nose. It's still there. Supposed to shimmer the cake, Hannah, not yourself.